What's up everybody, welcome back. So it was Walrein Calm Day yesterday, and as I'm sure most of you probably already know, this thing is an absolute monster and it's basically broken through the PV Poke charts. It's now ranked 4 and 5, I mean the Shadow and normal versions in both Great and Ultra League, and it's pretty highly ranked in the Master League as well. And which is why I decided to actually try it out in the Open Great League in this team comp alongside Skarmory, Walrein and Shadow Swampert, and honestly it worked really well for me. I got a 5-0 set and a couple of 4-1 sets as well, so there's some really exciting battles in here. So let's just get straight into it. So moving on to the first battle, I'm going to be leading with Skarmory, with Walrein and Swampert in the back. It's basically going to be an ABB line, and I'm met with a Walrein right off the bat, right, which is expected. I actually ran into a bunch of Walreins, which is, again, like I said, you're probably going to see a lot more of it in the coming seasons as well. But anyways, I'm going to go straight for the Sky Attack right now. It's going to do quite a bit of neutral damage against Walrein. And I'm going to try and catch an Icicle Spear on my Walrein, right? It's a good thing we caught enough any damage. But because their Walrein is getting pretty low, it's probably still an Icicle Spear range, right? They are still staying in, which is pretty surprising. So I'm going to go for an Icicle Spear. This is almost going to KO, not quite going to completely KO, but I'm going to be able to farm down, which is really good. So, but actually they decide to go for another move. This is probably going to be an Earthquake here. That does a lot of neutral damage, as you can see there. And yeah, I mean, we're able to take it out. And then they come in with their defense form Deoxys right now. I'm going to be able to build up 2 Icicle Spears and then go back to back here, right? I'm just going to go for the first one right now. Counter is still doing super effective damage because of the ice typing. And I'm able to get to another Icicle Spear here as well. And this is going to do about 20 to 30% of defense Deoxys health, right? Which is pretty good now. But they're able to farm down, which is okay. I'm going to come back with my Skarmory and try and go for the Sky Attack as soon as possible. Luckily, I'm able to get to it. They're probably going to shield this because they have a lot of loaded energy right now. And they do shield that, which is understandable. I'm going to let it go through, right? I'm just going to let sort of rely on Shadow Swampert to close this out there. They go for the Rock Slide. We do survive that. I'm going to switch into my Shadow Swampert immediately. And I'm going to shield this up. This is probably going to be a Psycho Boost because it was very soon. And this is going to be neutral against Swampert. And we do shield that, which is good. And they come in with their Sableye right now. So I'm going to build up 2 Hydro Cannons. This is going to be extremely close because, again, Sableye can get to foul place pretty quickly, right? So I'm going to go for the Hydro Cannon here as expected. It does get the shield there. And then I'm going to shield this up, and my only win con here is to get to 2 Hydro Cannons before they can get to another foul play, right? I'm going to build up a little bit extra energy here and then going for the first Hydro Cannon right now. I'm really hoping I can get off the next one before they can get to a foul play. So that almost KOs, but luckily I'm able to get to another one, and that's going to do enough damage to take out the Sableye. And the reason why Walrein is just so incredible, especially with, they actually still have a defense form Deoxys in the back, but it doesn't really matter because we have another Hydro Cannon ready to go, and that's going to take it out there. And the reason, like I said, why Walrein is absolutely incredible, especially with its new moveset, is because Powder Snow with that energy gain is you're going to be able to get to your charge moves really quickly. And also, Icicle Spear is pretty solid as well, right? And especially with Icicle Spear and Earthquake, there's hardly any Pokemon currently in the meta which can resist both ice and ground moves. You can probably think of something like a Bug Water type, like a Galvantula, which is yet to be released in Pokemon Go. So again, it's pretty much invincible in certain situations there. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Skarmory into a Shadow Swampert. I'm going to soak up the first Hydro Cannon right now. And then, yeah, I'm just going to build up a little extra energy. They actually make a switch into their Skarmory, so I'm going to go into my Swampert here. Again, we have Walrein in the back, which has a pretty solid matchup against Swampert, so we should be good to go there. So I'm going to go for a Hydro Cannon here. That's going to do quite a bit of neutral damage there. And then Charge Move is going to come through from the Skarmory, and yeah, I'm going to be able to shield that. I'm going to build up a little extra energy here, and then I'm just going to go straight for another Hydro Cannon, right? Now let's see if this gets the first shield from the Skarmory. It does get the shield, which is fine. And then I'm going to try and go for another one right now, but I'm actually going to shield this up. I really want to maintain switch advantage so that I can line up my Walrein against their Swampert. So I'm going to build up a little bit of extra energy. I'm actually going to build up 2 Hydro Cannons and go for the first one. If they do shield this, I'm going to be able to get off another one. But if they don't shield this, I'm going to be able to get off a Hydro Cannon and whatever's going to come out next, right? I'm just going to go straight Hydro Cannon right now. They do come back with Swampert, which works out perfectly as well because we're going to get the shield. Immediately switching to my Skarmory and going for the Brave Bird. They had a lot of energy there, so I just wanted to instantly swap and basically delete the Swampert, and we managed to get rid of it, which is fantastic. And they have a Galvantula in the back. This is going to be pretty tricky because Walrein doesn't have a great matchup against Galvantula. I don't want to come in with my Swampert because Swampert hardly has any energy. So I'm going to come in with my Walrein and try and go for the Icicle Spear as soon as possible. Again, we're going to be hit with a Discharge. It's going to do massive super effective damage. But I'm barely able to get to an Icicle Spear. Now, let's see how much damage this does to a Galvantula, right? And it barely KOs the Galvantula there. So that's actually, I mean, it worked out perfectly. I mean, probably, you can just see how much damage this does, especially against glass cannons like Galvantula. I mean, Icicle Spear is definitely a pretty solid move, right? And especially, like I said, with Earthquake, even if they swap in some Steel types or Rock types, you're going to be able to cover that as well. Which is why I think it's probably one of the best save swaps in the current meta, because you're going to at least be able to hit for neutral against whatever's going to come in, right? So we have Skarmory into a Wigglytuff. In this scenario, I'm actually going to stay in because, Skarmory is my best response to a Wigglytuff. I don't really want to switch into either Walrein or Swampert and take a lot of damage from Charm. Yeah, also the other reason why I'm not using Shadow Walrein is because I don't really have a good PvP IV1 yet. And because I have a Shadow Swampert in this team comp, I mean, a regular Walrein would probably also work as well. So, anyways, going for the back-to-back Sky attacks here. Let's see if this gets the second shield from the Wigglytuff. It doesn't get the second shield, which is fine. I'm going to completely farm it down, which is fantastic. Immediately going to try and switch into my Walrein right now because I still want to preserve a little bit of Skarmory just in case there's some sort of grass type in the back. But anyways, I'm going to switch to my Walrein here, try and go for the Icicle Spear against the Umbreon. Umbreon's actually a bit of a problem because it doesn't really take that much damage from Icicle Spear, but it's a pretty neutral matchup anyways, right? But they do go for Psychic straight away, probably trying to go for the defense debuff there, but I'm actually going to try and go for another Icicle Spear here. Gonna do quite a bit of neutral damage. Probably need to get off another couple, but it's okay. I'm gonna let this go through as well. This is probably just gonna be a foul play, as it is there, and I'm just gonna try and go for as many Icicle Spears as possible, right? Gonna go for this one right now. This is gonna do... It's gonna put Umbreon pretty low right now, and actually they do shield that, which is interesting, right? This tells me that whatever they have in the back is extremely weak to Walrein, in which case there's also a good chance that it could be potentially weak to Swampert as well. And I switch into my Swampert. They have a Nidoqueen in the back, and this is GG's right now. I mean, expected why they didn't want... I mean, Nidoqueen basically has no play against this entire team, and Hydro Cannon is definitely going to one-shot it, right? And they're going to come back with Umbreon here, and we're going to be able to get off a Hydro Cannon here as well. They're going to go for a move. I'm not going to shield this. I mean, we still have 2 shields. I mean, yeah, just want to see. It's just going to be a foul play. That still does quite a bit of damage there. If they'd gone for Psychic, it would have been pretty close, but going for the Hydro Cannon and taking the win there. So again, like I said, Walrein works really well as a safe swap in this particular team comp because you're going to be able to bait out the grass type and still have a decent play against those grass types because of access to some of those ice moves, and that pretty much clears the way for Swampert to sweep towards endgame, right? So moving on to the next battle here, we have 3-0 in the set right now. We have Skarmory into a Drifblim. A pretty neutral matchup this, so I'm going to stay in. They've done about 4 hexes right now. This is probably just going to be an icy win. I'm going to soak it up and then switch into my Walrein, right, to clear the debuffs. So they are still staying in, so I'm just going to go for the Icicle Spear as soon as possible to try and catch them off guard. They were probably trying to switch there, but they're going to be forced to shield this one, right? They do shield that, which is fine. And then at this point, they're probably going to go for the Shadow Ball here because that's going to do neutral damage, so I'm going to shield this up. And let's see what they decide to bring in. They come in with Bastiodon. This is exactly where Earthquake is just so useful on Walrein. Again, Earthquake is double super effective against Bastiodon because of the Rock Steel typing, and it's just going to do so much damage, right? This is where it can be absolutely destructive, especially in mid-game. And I'm able to get to another Icicle Spear as well. This is, even though it's resisted, still puts the Bastiodon pretty low there. And I'm not going to shield this. I'm going to let it go through. And then I'm going to save both shields for, basically, beg your pardon, I'm going to just save that shield for Swampert towards endgame, right? I'm going to come in with my Skarmory and farm it down because they had like very minimum health anyways. I don't want to reveal what my final Pokemon is yet. And they come in with their Politoed. Now this is going to be pretty tricky, but we still got this for the most part. I'm going to try and go for the Sky Attack here. And I'm going to try and get a couple of these off. I don't really have to shield one of these Weather Balls here. And yeah, I'm not going to shield the first one. I'm just going to let it go through and then try and go for the Sky Attack as soon as possible, right? Just going to be able to go for a Sky Attack here. And yeah, it's going to do quite a bit of damage against... So Politoed actually does get the shield, which is fine as well. And then at this point, they're going to go for a Weather Ball, which is okay. I'm just going to let it go through and just allow Swampert to basically finish towards endgame there, right? I'm not going to shield this because Shadow Ball is definitely going to do a lot more damage than Weather Ball does. So I'm just going to let it go through and then try and go for the Hydro Cannon as soon as possible here. I actually decided to farm it down so that we have a Hydro Cannon ready to go against the Drifblim, right? This is going to do massive neutral damage and take out the Drifblim there. So a pretty comfortable win. As you can see, this team is actually really dominating for the most part. I mean, there aren't too many team comps that can counter this team. I mean, probably Electric Leads can be a little bit tricky, but then again, like I said, that's another advantage with Earthquake and Walrein, right? You're going to be able to cover that weakness against some of those electric types, whereas Ice provides coverage against some of those weakness against grass types, right? Earthquake also provides coverage against Ice's weakness to rock as well. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Skarmory into another Walrein right now. Charge move is going to come through, and it is going to be an Icicle Spear, which is okay. I'm just going to go straight Brave Bird right now because they swap. I just go for the Brave Bird and then switch out, right? I'm going to go for the Brave Bird and switch into my Walrein right now. I was trying to catch an Icicle Spear here. This is probably going to be an Earthquake, but I'm going to let it go through. But ends up being a Water Pulse. So they're probably not running Earthquake. They're probably running Icicle Spear and Water Pulse, which is best case scenario. In this case, Walrein completely walls the other one, right? So again, Icicle Spear hardly does anything. I'm just going to go straight Earthquake right now. It's going to do massive neutral damage against the opposing Walrein. Almost takes it out. This is perfect. This puts it into farm down range, but they actually now switch into Registeel. Now this is perfect as well. I'm going to be able to get to an Earthquake here. Again, massive super effective damage because of the steel typing on Registeel. Just does so much damage there, and it also ends up being a CMP type. This is best case scenario. We still have Swampert in the back, which is a hard counter for Registeel. And I can just come in with my Swampert and overfarm as well, right? I'm just going to overfarm as much as possible here. I'm not really going to throw a move, but Charge Boost is going to come through. It's probably going to be a Focus Blast. Definitely going to shield this, especially with 2 shields. I do want to preserve the Swampert. And I'm going to try and completely farm it down at this point. So we have so much energy right now. And they come in straight with their Whimsicott. So I'm just going to go straight Sludge Wave right now. Again, Whimsicott is double weak to Poison because of the Grass Fairy typing. And now they make a switch into their Walrein to try and catch the next Sludge Wave. But I'm not going to throw. I'm just going to block this Icicle Spear. I mean, we didn't have the energy anyways. But luckily now we have enough energy to go for a Sludge Wave, right? This is absolutely going to one-shot the Whimsicott there. And that's going to take the win for us there. Like I said, Swampert is absolutely destructive. This thing is like literally my signature Pokemon. And every time I can sort of use it in any team comp, I will, right? And again, Walrein, the introduction of Walrein is probably, I guess, made Swampert more of a threat, especially with this particular team comp there. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys are having fun and a lot of success with Walrein. And yeah, I'll see you next time.